Hello there, this is Transformers fan G138, and I'm here with a video review of Transformers Combiner Wars Motormaster, and the leader of the Stunticons. This guy is actually, I did not have high hopes for him because I did not like the pictures of Optimus Prime early on, but in hand, I think this guy is kind of, like, fantastic. I think he's one of my favorite Combiner Wars figures thus far. Do wish he had painted wheel rims, but definitely fits the theme. One thing I really do like is this enormously large sword, which any 5mm character can hold, albeit not that great, but still pretty cool. Love the enormous size of the sword. Plus, you can hold it like this if you want to do like a gun sword thing like Cade did in that last movie. Anyway, overall, pretty cool. So, set that aside for a minute. Talk about the truck. Front wheels smaller than the back. Okay, it works. Overall, definitely looks more like IDW Optimus Prime style vehicle, which of course it is. Wish he had the trailer, but again, it's a Voyager, really can't include that. So, not bad. There, I'm sure, will be a third-party trailer for this guy at some point. But I'm going to be basically using this as the core of the Combiner anyway. So I'm not too concerned. Rolls decently, even though it has like the new style pop-in wheels. Done a little differently this time, which is nice. You can't, like, see the raw inside of it, which is, you know, always good to know. So, transformation. Let's put them in robot mode first. So, flip these forward. Kind of just unclip things. The whole front just kind of starts disassembling. Flip these panels on the side down over the wheels. Nice little wheel cover, so you can get kind of like a Cybertronian mode out of this if you wanted to. Like, you know, start flipping things, dip weird ways, and you can get some cool, interesting new modes. Pull the back end down, so we have it like this nice L bracket. What we'll do is come up front, separate the front of the truck, and open it up like this. And these mirrors are actually tabs, which will tab in back here. And once they're there, come to the back, make sure this is out of the way. Lift these here, bring this up, and then down. In the back, this can just be tucked away up here. Or you can have it tucked away back here. I kind of prefer it down here because it blocks this empty gap. So the feet can just slide up. I think these are kind of interesting hinges, but I can also see where there's a weak point in the plastic, as this side of the foot is not connected at all, only this side. Just bring these up, separate the legs so they'll sit flat. And on the legs, you can see the traditional Optimus Prime vents and taillight / vents on the feet. And then, you know, because they repainted this and retooled them as Optimus Prime, makes sense why he would still have some Optimus Prime elements. So, bring the arm down, rotate around, and this is the part that doesn't look like Optimus at all, which are the arms, which are awesome. And then the chest plate is differently made. So, we have a nice Decepticon logo up front. Very cool. Stands out better on the camera than it does in person. This is like the coolest gimmick, though. The way the head transforms. It's just this, like, spinning plate. I was like, I didn't think Hasbro could, like, surprise me anymore with ways they transform things. And I have not seen this in, like, forever. This kind of style of a transformation. So I was kind of very interested in this. The one thing, though, that I don't like about the design is how flat he looks. He's very, very flat. Granted, this means he can actually look down and not at his chest plate. So that's always a bonus. That doesn't always happen. But yeah, overall, decent looking figure. As soon as you start putting him in poses and not having him stand still, he becomes a little more 3D than 2D. So that's cool. Very G1 cartoonist head, too. Very, like, I don't know, kind of like the new Megatron coming out. Kind of hope somebody does a third-party new head for the Megatron to look more like the IDW style. Yes, the new Megatron does look exactly like the cartoon, but I kind of like the new IDW style better. So, articulation. We have a nice swivel joint here. I can see that loosening up very significantly. Swivel here. And it's kind of a weird double-jointed elbow. So, to get his arm at a full 90 degrees, you actually have to bend both joints, which is kind of unique and a little strange. So you can see it better on this side. This top joint has to go back for this to move. But I just think this guy's like full of unique kind of like joints and stuff, which is kind of weird and new. So, in addition to that, ball and socket joint head, waist swivel. Very cool to see that. Ratchet waist, or ratchet hip in both directions. Swivel just above the knee. Just over 90 degree knee friction joint. And then a little bit of foot movement due to transformation. But they're molded sideways. And of course, he would not be complete without a giant sword. A giant Decepticon looking sword, which is kind of awesome looking, by the way. So, overall, I think this guy is a winner. He'll look pretty decently on the shelf as is, or in combined mode. I don't know. I don't have the other Stunticons yet, and I'll combine them into the full like Menasor when I get the other parts. I currently have Drag Strip from the first wave, and sometime this month the rest should be shipping. So let's go ahead and turn him into his core mode so we can see that. First thing we'll want to do is retransform the head back into the body. Then we'll spin him around. Spin him around again. We'll take the arms, rotate them around, and then you see this little cutout here on the forearm? We bring this up, and it fits around the hinge on his chest. And then this tabs in here, like this. Locks in there nicely, so it can't rotate. And we do that on both sides. Then once we have that, we spin them back around. We open this portion, rotate the head assembly up, and this is another one of those weird joints where the whole joint kind of moves around other parts. Then the horns rotate up, forming the combiner head. We'll bring this out front for a minute. And this is where we do something weird with the legs. We rotate them like this, out. And this panel, you can see there's a little slot, and there's a tab up here. We want to rotate the leg so that this panel, when it flips up, tabs into here. Which, it's kind of interesting and hard to line up, but once you get it, then you have the legs locked in at the correct specific angles. But it can take a while to get there, especially when the lighting is terrible. There we go. So we have two legs. And then this kind of just folds up into here and becomes the crotch guard. And there we have Menasor in combiner body mode. And then, you know, we have Jackpot, which clips on the front, arms, whatnot. I did forget something. These hands flip backwards to reveal the ports. And of course that came untabbed when I did that. And for fun, I have a quasily assembled guy here. I'll just take the drag strip off and put drag strip on this side for an arm. That'll clip in nicely. So, drag strip there. And why not? Let's see what the rest of the combiner looks like. Put the other arm in here. All the combiner worth stuff is interchangeable, which is nice to know. Put a silver bolt up here for now. And clip in all the legs in place. Overall, looks a little weird, and this guy is definitely a little more top-heavy than Superion. From what I can tell, I think Superion looks a little bit better. This guy like has a weight issue or an eating problem. And then, of course, you can reclose this if you want a different chest plate. There we go. So, that's pretty much all the aerial bots and drag strip. I think the not Combaticons, the Stunticons will look fine. I can also see them repainting some of these into Bruticus, but as Bruticus has been their combiner for the last, like, 8 times they made a combiner, I'm pretty sure they're going to stay away from him, at least at first. But, overall, looks menacing, and we shall see how this turns out once the rest are included. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching.